Hello,
Hey,
beautiful. How are you?
little busy. I had to pull over in my car to do this. I'm literally sitting here in the vehicle.
I appreciate you being safe and also taking some time to talk with us. That's amazing. You
Yes,
look so great, and you got
thank
so much
you.
going on that let's just jump right into it. First of all,
Let's do
happy
it.
belated birthday.
Thank you. Gemini season.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And just like a Gemini, you got your hands in so many different things. So first,
Yes.
music. Cappin
Yes.
just came out. We got the music video today. What was kind of your concept with the song and the music video?
So the song Cappin, it's a term that I think originated in Atlanta down south, and it's just pretty much me lying. Like,
Hmm.
why you lying? Why you
Yep.
lying for? And it was kind of like my group chat made into music.
Yes.
Me and my girlfriends, we have a group chats, we have the DMs where we'll DM each other a post. Like, girl, look what this fool just posted, girl. Look, oh, girl, he posted in his McLaren, girl. You know that's rented, girl. He rented that thing, girl. What he got a color in, girl. Nah, that's his baby mama's sister's brother's car. So it's like these are the conversations we would have, and it kind of went from like being mad about like why are you lying to like it would just end up being funny
Right.
like you'll lie about anything. So that was kind of the concept behind Capping. Like, you say you bought it, I know you rented it.
Mhm.
You say you trapping on IG, but you really just got sheets over your windows because you're poor. So it was just making light of what most of my girlfriends and me go through.
Yep.
Capping.
Absolutely. White
Yeah.
Cap. And the video is very saucy. I love it.
Thank
So
you.
amazing.
So the
I'm ready
video
for some.
concept, when I thought of Capping, like one of the main things I thought of was the famous line from Friday, "You ain't gotta lie, Craig."
Hmm.
And so I initially felt like, why don't we recreate like some of the scenes from Friday and
Yep.
make it like nostalgic and fun and light and just kind of really get into like the culture and that era. So, we started off with the Bye Felicia scene that we
Hmm.
redid from Friday and then took a lot of inspiration from certain scenes in the movie and then just kept the nostalgia feel going with the retro makeup and the bandana and the all red outfit, red hair, red car, old school, and the lowriders and stuff like that. So I just wanted it to be a fun, feel good summer record, and just something that everybody could vibe to.
For sure. You definitely accomplished that. So
Thank
sexy.
you.
And speaking of sexy, we got to talk about your new lingerie collection for Father's
Mm-hmm.
Day, the ultimate
Yes.
Father's Day gift, if you will.
Yes.
For anyone who hasn't seen it yet, how would you describe your new lingerie collection?
Well, I only released the first two pieces, which is a really cute, sexy red nightie and a really like classy but still sexy red robe. The robe, of course, you can wear with anything, over anything, under with nothing under it, whatever.
Hmm.
And then it's all about layers. It's all about the tease, the sex appeal. So you don't want to just give the meal. You got to have the
Right.
appetizer first.
Hmm.
So you want to
Absolutely.
have a something. Woo! But just imagine, just get home from work, long day at work, or maybe still working from home. Come
Hmm.
upstairs and you're just sitting there in your beautiful little robe with your little nightie under it.
Hmm.
He don't want to tie for Father's Day. The only thing he wants to do with that tie is tie you up, sis. So,
Like,
um,
oh my
yeah.
God.
So,
Return the watches. Like, this is it.
right, right.
Love
So
it.
I'm gonna be adding a lot more, a lot of different robes and cute little pajamas and things like that to the collection. But I wanted to just start with this red set for Father's Day because I felt like it was appropriate.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, you literally have your paws in so many different things. This stock market workbook. Can you talk about that? What inspired you to put that together?
Just for the past like 4.5 years, I've had wealth advisors and business managers that were managing my investments, and I just wasn't seeing the type of growth. Like, I should be Warren Buffett by now. What's happening?
Right.
There's no way Warren Buffett, who by the way has the most expensive stock in the world,
Hmm.
um, available. There's no way that this man is making this trillions, billions of dollars, and my I'm barely making 15% on my in return on my investment.
Right.
So, I because of the pandemic, it forced me to sit at home, which I normally can't really do. I'm always, running around so busy. So I just started kind of looking into it myself and doing some research. And okay, I read about this and let me test it on the market. Okay, well, what about this? Well, what does this term mean? And it just turned into this whole Pandora's box of me staying up till 6 o'clock in the morning, losing sleep, like rubbing my eyes and, about to take a nap. But wait, stock market opens in 30 minutes. I can't go to sleep yet. And it just turned to this massive thing. In 4 weeks, I made 6 figures off of a 4-figure investment.
Oh my gosh.
And I said,
Yeah.
okay, I get it now. The secrets are hidden in books, and they're made for old white men who have nothing to do but read all day.
Right.
And most of us, if you have a job, if you have kids, like the only books I can read are Disney and Mickey Mouse, bedtime stories. I really haven't had time to sit down and really read something. So, I've actually ordered stock market books that I wanted to look at that have collected dust for years because it's just this thick book that is so intimidating, and I just personally don't have time. So once I kind of saw what I figured out and what I learned, I decided that I wanted to show people how to learn it. Not like I'm not trying to teach it. I want to be clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you what stocks to buy. I mean, I can, but I'm not.
I'm not gonna.
Right. So like me being a college dropout that I just fired my whole financial team except for Marilyn Booker. I love Marilyn. Deb, Marilyn, you my inspiration, sis. I can't even afford to hire you, honey, but you still. She's like my mentor. But she's been at Morgan Stanley for longer than I've been alive, and she just retired to do her own thing, and she taught me so much. But that's sidebar. Anyway, knowing how intimidating it is to just get into this thick book, I decided to lay out a formula for people to learn just like I learned. And that was reading information, applying it, doing a little research, applying that, taking those two together, applying it in real life, setting a plan, applying that, doing a little more research, applying that. So instead of like giving you this big book that you just have to get into and then try to take notes and then try to remember and put stickies on this page, on that page, it's in real time. So I'm teaching you as you go. Okay, let's learn this, let's apply this, let's do this. And that's how I learn. So I wanted to make it easy for young people, for moms, for busy people, for people that didn't do well in school. I dropped out. I don't like taking tests. I wanted to make it easy for you to learn so that you can create wealth, generational wealth, get yourself out of debt, and put yourself and your family in a position to win.
Well, I appreciate so much that you did that because that's one of the things they don't even teach you that in school. Like if you
they'll never teach that.
Right. Which is ridiculous. No. So it's unfair, and if you're giving so many more people, including myself, the opportunity to learn how to do that and create wealth for themselves. And you even made a social media page, right? What's the app?
Yes, Masika's Rich Bitch Tips. Yes. Follow that. Make sure you follow that, guys. Yes, once we get to 10,000 followers, I'm going to be doing a financial literacy Q&A on that page. And I haven't really been posting as much as I want to because I've been so busy. I'm actually looking for a social media manager to hire to, help get the content out on that page because I have so much that I just have my hands in so many things. And being with the pandemic, I'm short-staffed. So Lord have mercy, Jesus. Lord, send me a great team. Lord, I need him, Jesus, right now. But yeah, make sure you're following Masika's Rich Bitch Tips. And I will be putting out the workbook in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you're staying tuned on my social media pages.
Amazing. Absolutely. Not to get too deep with you, Masika, but for a second, I've got to ask, there's a lot going on in the country right now, the pandemic, the police brutality. How are you doing with everything going on?
It's very difficult. And, being a Black woman, being a Black person, it's so many things. Like I used to wonder as a kid, how did my grandparents deal with these type of things? And then my parents are pretty young, but when they grew up, of course, segregation was no longer legal, but they grew up right off the heels of that. So even though they could use any water fountain they wanted to, they were still looked at crazy. So I used to wonder, like, how did they deal with that? Now I'm sitting here like, how the hell, this is what we're dealing with now?
Right.
And it almost brought me to my knees when I had to explain racism to my daughter, because I'm one of those people, like, and again, this is what I'm doing with the stock book. I don't just, like, tell you where we're at. Because right now we have police brutality. I didn't start there because it didn't make sense. I took it back to slavery. I had to correlate it for her to understand at 4 years old so that she can get it. I can't just say, well, police don't like black people. My child doesn't really even get the difference between black, white, this and that, the other still. She knows she's black, but when she first found it out, she said, my skin's not black.
Oh, yeah.
So, right. So it doesn't make sense to her. So I really had to take it back to Africans being illegally brought over for slavery. I had to explain to her in a 4-year-old's mind what slavery was. Then I had to explain to her oppression and how we escaped slavery and how we had to fight for our rights and voting and all of these things. And now we're free. And, we had 400 years where we weren't equal. And now we've only had 60 years where we have rights, and people are still trying to take it from us. So, like, I had to explain to her slavery, police brutality, oppression, and prejudice, and racism. And that was something that I did not think I would ever need to explain to my 4-year-old.
Right.
Like, I knew these conversations would come up, but I'm thinking, okay, 12, 13, as you get older, because I didn't ever think this would be needed. It's so unfortunate. We didn't get to bury Ahmaud Arbery before George Floyd was murdered. We didn't even get to march for Breonna Taylor before this happened. We don't get to recover from one before another occurs, and it's become so common and so prevalent. And seeing the police, like, I'm sure you saw the video of the 75-year-old man.
Of course,
that the police shoved.
It's crazy, yes.
And did you see Donald Trump's tweet about it?
Oh, Masika, it keeps me up at night. It's insane. It's a conspiracy theory.
Like, this is what people have to understand.
Yeah.
Trump, he's a bigot. He's a racist. He's prejudiced. He's a child molester. He's a pedophile. But he doesn't like all white people. Oh, no. He doesn't like the poors. He doesn't like the poor whites. He only likes the rich, Republican, powerful white people. Mm-hmm. He likes the rednecks because they're radicals and they'll shoot the guns and all that shit. But he don't give a you poor and you white. You worse than the blacks.
Right.
So his prejudice is about power. It's not just a skin color. It's a power. And that's, again, why I keep preaching about this generational wealth, so that we can change the control. The reason why we have these district attorneys and attorney generals in office that are letting these people go scotch-free off murder cases is because they've been appointed by Republican parties, because they have the money behind their campaigns. Mm-hmm. If we had the money behind our Democratic campaigns, we would have our people in office. But we need the money to do that. Mm-hmm. We need to be able to fund those and appoint our judges, appoint our mayors, and appoint these people that are going to fight for all of our rights. Like, when it comes to taxes, I'm a Republican as it can be. Mm-hmm. When it comes to rights, I'm as Democratic as it can be. So I get it. Like, I can see both sides of it, but, like, at the end of the day, you have to, you can't possess a heart that beats mm-hmm. in order to see the things, like what Trump's tweet about that 75-year-old man. It was just like, maybe he fell too hard on purpose. Maybe he made himself bleed.
And if you saw the video, you would know that's just not even a possibility.
And, yes, those 2 officers being fired or resigning, whatever they did, is cool. But I'm sorry, this is where the problem lies with the police brutality and police. For me, it's those 2 officers. There was 57 officers there. Not one officer came to his aid. You're all dirty cops, all of you, every last one of you. And then the man that tried to help him got arrested. All 57 of you are trash. Get out of here. Not just the 2 that pushed. because there should be a check and balance system, and we have lost that. That's a thing of the past. So I definitely believe in defunding the police. We do need the police, but we need training for the police. They should have to pass some sort of mental aptitude test. They should have to pass, like physical training. What about here? You could be bipolar, tripolar, off your meds, racist, prejudice. As long as you pass the physical test, you're an officer? No.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I couldn't agree with you more. And there's got to be, I know you said like tax-wise, you're Republican, heart-wise, Democrat. There's got to be a middle ground because like these human rights can't keep getting compromised. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it the middle ground is supposed to be the liberals, and that's
become a whole other thing.
That's so far from middle. Like, that's more radical than anything. Something's got to change. Something's got to change, and it's going to be this generation that changes it.
Yes, I couldn't agree more with that. I see a lot of people in the comments saying Masika for president, which I love.
Listen.
With that being said, Masika, if you were president, what would your advice be to America going forward right now?
Again, it's the funding, it's the education, it's the lack of education, it's the miseducation, and I think I have a strong belief that the Republican Party wants to eliminate the middle class altogether. I think they want wealthy or poor, no in between. So for me, it's empowering the poor and the middle class with education, with resources. I took a trip to Qatar, beautiful country. The crime is non-existent. They're citizens. They're born into money. They get an allowance for being a Qatari citizen. The public library looks like a freaking club. Everything is free. They have 3D printers you can use. They have engineering classes. You can learn how to build planes and make a plane model. They have free music studios.
Wow.
Fully equipped with every instrument, a sound stage, microphones, mixing boards. Not only do they have it available for free, they teach you how to use it if you need. Basically, you have access to every possible thing you need to succeed. Every single male gets a $500,000, something like that, home loan, interest-free for 30 years, very low rate to pay back. And if you're a female that is divorced or unmarried or widowed or something like that, you get it as well. You get to go to school for free. If you go to school abroad, not only do they cover your tuition, they pay for all of your housing, your food, your car while you're out the country. So basically, there's no pain, there's no debt, there's no anguish, there's no need, there's no reason for people to be looting and stealing and committing crimes. They're happy.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy. And Qatar is the richest country per capita in the world.
Wow. So,
and again, it's per capita because they're so small and they have all this oil wealth. But that before 1970, they got their money from pearl diving. Mm-hmm. So it's a very new economy, and their focus is on education. Dubai's focus is on business. Qatar is on education. So if I were to be in political office somewhere, I would literally sit down with them, talk to their people, and visit other countries, and even in Canada, they have double taxes, one for the queen, one for the whatever, and it's a lot of taxes, but their healthcare's free. Mm-hmm. Their people are getting about $2,000 a month, I think, stimulus.
Wow, that's amazing.
Like America, when the pandemic hit, you know how many people lost health insurance?
Oh my God, I can't. Even people who had health insurance in the first place was a blessing.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me we have a pandemic with a virus spreading, we can't even go to the doctor because now we can't pay for it? Mm-hmm. And then we got to sit at home and wait God knows how long to try to get $1,200? What? By the time people finally got it, the people that could get it, they're already in debt. Right. Then we have this great thing. Great. Okay, you don't have to pay rent for 3 months. Great, let's file for deferment. Oh, no one told you on the 4th month you got to pay all 4 months at one time. Mm-hmm. Oh, so now you're going to get evicted. Mm-hmm. And it's like the government is setting us up to fail over and over and over and over again. The way out is education, and building up your generational wealth, and it has to start with you. Look at all these murders. All these black people being murdered by the police walking away. We're rioting, we're picketing, we're looting, we're begging for a change. People have destroyed businesses, Targets, Gucci store, Rodeo Drive. They don't care. They have insurance. They're insured. Now imagine if we were rioted every week. Insurance companies would figure out something because now they're doing all these payouts. Okay, so let's apply that to Black Lives Matter. We're not taught estate planning, generational wealth. We're not taught any of that. So most of us are never told or taught about life insurance. And even if we are, we think it's something we either have time to do later or can't afford to do. Now imagine if all these black people that are being murdered by the police had life insurance. We wouldn't have to picket or riot or anywhere because the insurance companies would make sure Black Lives mattered. They don't want to do these payouts. No, they don't give a flying crap about a dead black man or dead black woman with no insurance that's leaving debt to their family. They don't care. That does absolutely nothing but make white people richer and black people poorer because now we gotta borrow money to bury this person. Now we're further in debt. So imagine if we all got life insurance policy, $500,000 policy, $300,000 policy, $1 million policy, and every time a black person was killed, that insurance company had to pay that out. I guarantee you, Black lives would matter to some white people then.
100%. So
I always say education and wealth is the way out. And people always try to argue that fact with me, and you can't do that. I don't care. I don't care what you say. You can do whatever you try to do. That is the ultimate way out. We can appoint our people. We can fund our own banks. And that's another thing with banks. Why is bank funding so important? When you deposit your money in the bank, what happens? Do you know what happens with your money? If you deposit $100, what does the bank do with it?
They use it. They loan it to somebody.
The bank only has to keep 10% of your money on hand, and they are able to loan, trade, and flip the other 90%.
Yep.
So when we are putting our money into these big corporations, hello, Chase got busted for owning the ships that were shipping cocaine across the goddamn countries, and that didn't even make a peep. It barely hit the news. It was like trillions of dollars worth of cocaine, and the ship was owned by Chase Bank. So I've been invited to be a private client for years, and I've sat down with them because to be a private client, you have to have a aggregate balance of $250,000 in the bank, and I have my wealth over multiple accounts and multiple banks, and they track your spending, and they know when you have that money, and they keep trying to entice you to do it. So I've sat with them multiple times. Give me a reason why I should put my money in this bank. What are you going to do for me? And it's, you can text for deposits, and you call it any time.
Who cares?
I'm probably dating one of the players that got those for free. If I'm not, then my DMs. Okay.
I could be dating one of the players. Anyway.
I text my banker already because we have that relationship, but they're asking for that money so they can take 90% of it. 90% of that, my money might have bought the cocaine they fucking shipping.
Honestly, though, yeah.
But then my black ass goes in to get a loan. I'm sorry, ma'am. So what if we started putting our money into these black banks that are putting the 90% into things and systems and things that are conducive for our own people? Then when you go in to get a loan, you get approved. Like, I have literally called on the phone and talked with my good private school parochial voice and have gotten approval. And then they'll ask me my name. I'll say Miss Tucker. I don't use my last name. Then I'll come in person, Masika Tucker. Oh, yeah. So about that approval.
I'll take that. Thank you.
And I'm telling you, I have watched mouths drop, people stutter, and figure out a way to deny me.
Wow. That's just so wild. It's so wrong. I hope you enter politics.
You know, it's something that I'm accidentally passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
It was never something I was interested in, but this is the reality that we're living in.
You
You know,
have to go.
so I'm more concerned about my daughter growing up.
Mhm.
You know, I don't want her to have to experience these things. And my goal in life is to set her up to win. I have my life insurance policy. My casket is picked out. I'm
Oh my
working
God.
with my family to buy the whole plot for my whole family.
Oh wow.
Um, you know, my house is deeded over to my daughter so that if
Mhm.
someone sues me, they can't touch the house. She has it forever. You
Yeah.
know, there's things that I'm setting up in place for her. But if I've set her up to win, and when she steps outside, she has to worry about getting pulled over,
Mhm.
like Sandra Bland,
Right.
like Falon Castillo, like so many of these names that are hashtags, I could set her up in the best position. It's not going to change until we change. We have to change it.
I saw someone on Twitter that said something perfect to me. They were like, how about we start buying crayons and pens for teachers and stop buying all these weapons for police? It's like so crazy how much money we take away from education and throw all this money into police. You froze on me, Masika. Oh, there you
But you
go. We're
know,
back. We're back. But it's unreal.
oh,
I couldn't agree with you more. And
I mean, look at
honestly, props to you for
just look at the front line. We saw the pictures of the police officers with their shields and their face guards and their masks and everything. Where were these when the healthcare workers needed them last month? Where were these shields and masks when the healthcare workers were sacrificing their lives for this coronavirus that we don't know how it happened?
but it's still
Population
like
control.
right. For sure. And props to you for teaching your daughter at such a young age all the history leading up to this. I think that's so important that she's learning that from you. That's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Masika, you're amazing. I'm so glad you took time to hang out with me today. My final question for you is a little bit lighter, though. I'm glad we got through that.
Let's do it. Let's lighten it up.
Here in Maine, our state motto is Maine, the way life should be. We're very, very wholesome up here. So I want to know, according to you, Masika, what is the way life should be?
However you want it. Like, people ask me all the time, what do you do? I say whatever I want.
Yes.
It's the short answer. I mean, I do so many things, but I choose what I want to do. I think a world where you can wake up and decide what to do is the best, because like I can't say most people, but you know, most people with some type of morale compass, they're going to decide to do things that are positive, that are good, and they're going to enjoy doing it because it was their choice. Like, I love working because I picked my career. I picked everything I do. I love making music. I don't care if I'm in the studio 20 hours. I would rather do that than go to work and sit behind a desk for 8 hours.
Right.
I lose sleep on my beauty brand if I'm passionate about it. You know, so like I said, I stay up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning sometimes just learning about the stocks and writing this book and stuff like that. I'm passionate about it. I wake up every day and decide what to do. Now, there are times where I get in the weeds and there's a long list of stuff that I'm backed up on, but at the end of the day, I own it all. So who am I going to get in trouble with? I'm going to get fired? No. So, even when I'm behind, I'm accountable for myself. So I think the world, it's a world where you wake up and choose what you want to do. I think that would literally make everybody happy.
That would change the world for sure. I couldn't have said it better myself. Masika, you're so awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I know you're the busiest woman in the world. Keep doing it. We love every second of it. So
thank you so much. Make sure you guys stream Capping. It's available on all platforms. Go check out my video right now on World Stars at the top of the page. Keep me up there. Leave the comments. Say something good. Leave a good comment on my page. And all aspiring artists, I actually just posted yesterday a competition for you to get a record deal. So check that out. It's on my page too. And I would love it if you would save this live and send it to my publicist.
Absolutely. I definitely will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.